This episode, I'm heading to Hartford, Connecticut. I'm very excited by it because I'm going to the Mark Twain House, and they're starting a steampunk exhibit this week. But what's really interesting is I'm shaving the beard off today. My wife doesn't know yet. She doesn't really like the beard anyway, but she's not going to like what I do. I'm actually going to do a steampunk mustache for this episode. So, but if you don't know what steampunk is, check it out. Steampunk is a setting where steam power is still widely used, usually Victorian-era Britain or the Wild West era in the United States. It's influenced graphic novels and movies such as The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, as well as influencing the world of fashion since the 1980s. Also, the mustache. Let's see how mine's turning out. Alright, so I did it. Check out the mustache. But let's see my wife's reaction. Hey honey, check out my new mustache. What do you mean? Do you like it? You don't like it? It's for my steampunk episode. Doesn't it look cool?
Just don't get used to this stupid beard.
Oh, it's time to see how my 7-year-old son likes it. Hey Finn, what do you think of my new mustache? It's real. It's a real mustache. Do you like it?
It's fake.
It's not fake. Touch it. See? It's real.
No.
Do you like it or not?
Let me touch it again.
Don't pull it. It hurts. What are you doing? Do you like it?
No.
Why not?
Because it looks like good on you.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
I like it when you. I like it when you. I like it better when you look before. Take that off. Oh well. So now I take my loyal steed to Hartford, Connecticut tonight, so I can get up early in the morning.
All right. Well, I am ready. I'm up, and not really a morning person, but it's 7:30 in the morning, and I'm heading over to the Mark Twain House to see, obviously, the entire exhibit, the house, the museum, but I'm also really excited to see the steampunk exhibit that's going on right now. So this is going to be awesome. They're going to let me in about 9 o'clock, a half hour before they let the public in, so I get to get some footage. It's going to be awesome. All right, so here I am at the Mark Twain House. I am excited. So I'm going to meet a man named Steve Courtney here, who's going to show me around. So it's going to be great.
This was truly exciting. I'm getting a personal tour by Steve Courtney, writer and publicist and publications editor for the Mark Twain House.
Sam Clemens first arrived in Hartford in the fall of 1868. He was on a business trip. A book publisher had suggested that he turn some letters, travel letters he had written from a trip to Europe and the Middle East into a book. And that book ended up being The Innocents Abroad, the book that really sold more than any other book that he ever wrote during his lifetime. It was only later on that Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, the ones that we all know, caught up with that and surpassed that. To enter the entry hall here, you usually, visitors give a little bit of a gasp because it's so grand. I mean, it's almost looks like walking into a European hotel. This was a gathering place at all times of year, especially for the sort of the social life. The visitor who came in the door who would be propped up on one of these chairs with a cup of tea or a glass of sherry and entertained on the sort of more genteel level of the house. entertainment center of the house. In those days, without the flickering screens that we enjoy every day, whether they be in our hands or on our computers or on the big screen on the wall, they had to get all of their entertainment and their pictures of the world, all of their poetry and romance and history from these little oblong objects that you see sitting on the shelves here. And they had to open them up and physically turn the pages. And the observatory at the end here created, as you can see, just as it does today, light and warmth during the coldest part of the winter, with tropical plants and that wonderful fountain in the middle there, which they did have a fountain as well. The girls would play jungle in here. This is where Sam would get down on his hands and knees and be an elephant. Bedroom. We know from some of the writings of Mark Twain that the bed was at times in this odd position with a side along the wall, which seems like it would make it difficult for the person on the inside to have to crawl over the other one all the time. This is the butler's room. George Griffin was an African American who came to wash the windows shortly after the Clemenses moved in, and ended up staying with the family for 17 years. Really beloved, trusted Mark Twain with lots of funny anecdotes about. This is the room this is why we preserve the house, because over in that corner, on that little plain table that Clara described as his writing desk in the little chart she made, that's where he sat and worked on his great works while he was here. He worked on Tom Sawyer, sort of finished it up while he was here, Huckleberry Finn, and then here we have the kitchen, which is a quiet place today, but in those days it must have been just absolutely full of activity and junk and shelves that you can't even reproduce. There was so much stuff in here. And so much activity going. Family china and family crystal and all the important stuff was kept in this room called the butler's pantry. Oh. And that was his office and headquarters, and none of the other servants could enter it or handle the family crystal, except for perhaps the ladies. Maybe they're the issues we've seen here. See, it's something you would speak into. You would call it what Mark Twain called the hello girls. Hello, and then you would use the same thing to listen.
Really?
Yeah. And then he was one of the first people in Hartford to have a phone, and I think the first phone book or phone list that we have lists maybe 45 people